The poetry of W.S. Graham is a kind of poetry that doesn't bear a great deal of relation to other poets and other poetry of the same era, the 40s, the 50s, the 60s. And Graham has a solid reputation as an important poet. I think that putting his last poem, The Night Fishing, as his greatest poem is a mistake. It is not, to me, a very powerful poem. I think his earlier poems, particularly the Six Letters, and a love poem, I Leave This in Your Ear, and also a ballad called Baldy, Bane, are much more powerful poems than his last poem, The Night Fishing. This is I Leave This at Your Ear for Nessie Dunsmuir. I leave this at your ear for when you wake, a creature in its abstract cage asleep. Your dreams blindfold you by the light they make. The owl called from the naked woman tree as I came down by the Kyle farm to hear your house silent by the speaking sea. I have come late, but I have come before, later with slaked steps from stone to stone, to hope to find you listening for the door. I stand in the ticking room. My dear, I take a moth kiss from your breath. The shore gulls cry. I leave this at your ear for when you wake. This is letter 2, to me the most powerful of the 6 letters. Burned in this element to the bare bone, I am trusted on the language. I am to walk to you through the night, and through each word you make, between each word I burn bright in, on this wide reach. And you, within what arms you lie, hear my burning ways across these darknesses that move and merge like foam. Lie in the world's room, my dear, and contribute here where all dialogues write. Younger, in the towered tenement of night, he heard the shipyards with night shifts of lathes turning their shafts. His voice was a humble ear, hardly turned to her. Then in a welding flash he found his poetry arm, and turned the coat of his trade. From where I am I hear clearly his heart beat over Clydeside's far hammers and the night shipping firth. What's he to me? Only myself I died from into these present words that move. In that high tenement I got a great grave. Tonight, in sadly need of you, I move inhuman across this space of dread and silence in my mind. I walk the dead water, burning language towards you, where you lie in the dark ascension of all words. Yet where do you lie, lost to my cry and hidden away from the world's downfall? Oh, offer some way tonight to make your love take place in every word. Reply, time's branches burn to hear. Take heed, reply, here I am driven, burning on this loneliest element. Break me out of this night, this silence where you are not, nor any within earshot. Break me from this high helmet of idiocy. Water, wallflower, growing up so high, we are almost children, we all must die, except Willie Graham, the fairest of them all. He can dance and he can sing, and he can turn his face to the wall. Fie for shame, turn your face to the wall again. Yes, laugh then, Claudiola, laugh, though he sat there as deaf and worn to a stop as the world had given him up. Stay still. This was the sounding sea he moved on, burning his still unending cry. That night hammered and waved its starry shipyard arms, and it came to inherit his death, where these words merge. This is his night, writ large in Greenock. The bright breath of night's array shone forth on the night-shifting town. Thus younger burning in the best of his puny gear, he early set out to write him to his death, and to that great breath taking of the sea, the graith of poetry, my musing love, lie down within his arms. He dies, word by each word, into myself. Now at this last word I die in, this last. Baldy, Bane. Shrill the fife, kettle the drums, my queens, my sluts, my beauties. Show me your rich attention along the shower of empties, and quiet be, as it was once, it fell on a night late. The muse has felled me in this bed that in the wall is set. Lie over to me from the wall, or else get up and clean the grate. On such a night as this behind Macella's tanworks wall, it seems I put my hands in hers as we played at the ball. So began a folly that I hope will linger late, though I am of the kitchen bed and of the flannel sheet. Lie over to me from the wall, or else get up and clean the grate. Pay you no attention now, nor that we keep our bed. It is yon hoodie on the gate would speak to me to the dead. And though I am embedded here, the creature to forget, I ask you one and all to come, let us communicate. Lie over to me from the wall, or else get up and clean the grate. Make yourself at home here, my words you move within. I made them all by hand for you to use as your own. Yet I'll not have it said that they leave my intention out, else I, an old man, I will up and at that yeller yite. Lie over to me from the wall, or else get up and clean the grate. You're free to jig your fiddle or let it dally on the bow. Who's he that bums his chap there, drunk as a wheelbarrow? Hey, you who visit an old man that a young wife has got, mind your brain on the beam there, and watch the lentil pot. Lie over to me from the wall, or else get up and clean the grate. Now pay no attention, I am the big bow bender. Those words shall lie the way I want, or she'll blacklead the fender. No shallop she, her length and depth is Clyde and clinker built. When I have that one shafted I allow my best to out. Lie over to me from the wall, or else get up and clean the grate. Full as a whelk, and sad when all is done. The children cry me Baldy, Bane, and the great catches are gone. But do you know my mother's tune? For it is very sweet. I split my thumb upon the barb the last time I heard it. Lie over to me from the wall, or else get up and clean the grate. Squeeze the box upon the tune they call Kate Dalrymple-o. Cock your ears upon it, and to cock your legs is simple-o. Full as a whelk, and all my hooks to bait. Is that the night shift knocking off? I hear men in the street. Lie over to me from the wall, or else get up and clean the grate. Move to me as you burl, Meg, your mother was a great whore. I have not seen such padaba since up at Kirriemoor. I waded in your shallows once, now drink up to that. It makes the blood go up and down, and lifts the sneck a bit. Lie over to me from the wall, or else get up and clean the grate. Through the word, and all is said and done. Who are you that these words make this fall upon? Fair's fair, upon my word, and that you shall admit, or I will blow your face in glass, and then I'll shatter it. Lie over to me from the wall, or else get up and clean the grate. If there's a joke between us, let it lie where it fell. The exact word escapes me, and that's just as well. I always have the tune by ear, you are an afterthought, but when the joke and the grief strike, your heart beats on the note. Lie over to me from the wall, or else get up and clean the grate. Full as a whelk, my brain is blanket stitched. It is the drink has floored us, and Meg lies unlatched. Lie over to me, my own muse, the bed is our estate. Here's a drink to cork your seams against the burling spate. Lie over to me from the wall, or else get up and clean the grate. Now pay no attention, you, your gears do not engage. By and large, it's meet you should keep to your gelded cage. My ooze, my merry-making muse, you're nothing to look at, but prow is proud and rudder rude is the long and short of that. Lie over to me from the wall, or else get up and clean the grate. Think of a word and double it, admit my metaphor, but leave the muscle in my verse, it is the skerry vor. Can you wash a sailor's shirt, and can you wash it white? Oh, can you wash your sailor's shirt, the whitest in the fleet? Lie over to me from the wall, or else get up and clean the grate. Full as a welcome ending, surprise me to my lot. The glint of the great catches shall not again be caught, but the window is catching the slow end of the light. Who crossed these words before me, crossed my meaning out. Lie over to me from the wall, or else get up and clean the grate. Cry me Baldy Bane, but cry the hoodie off the gate. And before you turn away, turn to a last estate. She lies to fell me on the field of silence I wrote. But whose endeavour do we fare by the word in her throat? Lie over to me from the wall, or else get up and clean the grate. She lies to fell me on the field that is between us here. I have but to lift the sneck with a few words more. Take kindly to Baldy Bane then, and go your ways about. Tell it in the Causeway side and in Cartsburn Street. Lie over to me from the wall, or else get up and clean the grate. Love me near, love me far, lie over from the wall. You have had the best of me since we played at the ball. I crossed the fingle of my stride with you at beauty heat, and I burn my words behind me. Silence is shouted out. Lie over to me from the wall, or else get up and clean the grate. I think these poems, particularly the Ballad of Baldy Bane, are intensely and immensely powerful poems, and the rest of his work, with the exception of his last poem, I think is more or less equally powerful. I don't think he ever recorded any of his work, sadly, and his work was always being overshadowed by that of Dylan Thomas, who a fine poet in many ways, but I think W.S. Graham is, looking at this from 60 years on, I think Graham is a better, finer and more passionate poet than Dylan Thomas. Thomas's work, I think, was spoiled by an overweening rhetoric, and this rhetoric is not there in W.S. Graham. Graham kept to his roots in Scotland, and he was an absolutely devout, I would say, poet. He didn't write anything but poetry. He wrote no prose, he wrote no travelogues, he wrote nothing except poetry, and he was able to do this because a very minor poet, Robin Skelton, had a lifetime tenure as Professor of English at a Canadian university, and there was a lifetime commitment from that university to buy W.S. Graham's manuscripts, and this kept W.S. Graham free to write poetry and to do nothing else. And I think it is that absolute devotion to his art and craft which produced this absolutely marvellous poetry. I still think there's huge enjoyment in reading the Ballad of Baldy Bane, and it is not a poem that is much anthologised. To get it, had to go to his selected or collected poems. I think perhaps it is, for modern ears, rather long. We tend to have a very short attention span, incredibly short, and to read good poetry, great poetry, we need to expand that attention span to encompass the mind and the heart and the soul of this kind of greatness. And I do strongly suggest that people look at Graham again and listen in their hearts to this magnificent poet. And I hope everyone enjoys his work as much as I do.